Hey there, it's Olivia-Savannah here from Olivia's Catastrophe, and today we are looking back on the year that was 2021 and we're going to see how many of my 2021 goals I actually did. So my first goal was to read more big books, and I absolutely smashed that goal out of the park. I read so many big books last year, some of them being War and Peace, Crime and Punishment, The Fifth Season, The Final Empire, Empire of Gold. There was so many big books that I read last year, and I'm just very happy and satisfied because in the beginning I had to push myself to read my big books, and then by the end of it I was just picking them up because I wanted to read that book. So I definitely think big books don't intimidate me anymore, and that was what I wanted from that goal, so I'm very happy with that. Next goal was to read more books in my second and third languages, second being Dutch, third being Spanish, and I finished a total of 0 Spanish books and 0 Dutch books, so I absolutely failed that goal. However, I have been reading Spanish and reading Dutch at least 3 times a week, so I haven't been finishing books or anything. In the end, I just decided to read bits and bobs here and there. I've started reading Twilight in Dutch, I've made some headway, so that's one book that I'll eventually finish at some point, but I realised that that goal was just not very feasible for me, especially in terms of Spanish. I just needed to read text and kind of work myself up to a book in Spanish, and then for Dutch I was just completely slacking off, to be honest. My third goal was to finish the first draft of my novel in verse and start editing it, and I did this goal. I finished my novel in verse and I finished my edit, so I actually have a final manuscript. I'm very proud of it, I'm very happy with it. I've talked about my novel in verse before, but what it is about is a girl in Australia, a road trip, a terminal illness, and grief. And friendship, of course. So I'm very happy with my novel in verse. My next goal was to finish the first draft of my novel, which is my Frankenstein Afrofuturist / horror sci-fi retelling, which sounds like a lot of things, and it is a lot of things, which is why I have not finished my first draft, because it's taking a while. It takes a lot of research, it takes a lot of writing, and it just takes so much planning that it was not feasible to finish it in the year that I was also working on my novel in verse and also writing a dissertation. So it's not done, but I did make progress. The goal that I slipped in there was to do Gothtober again, and we definitely did Gothtober again. It was even better than the first year we did it, if you can believe it, and I just hope Gothtober will continue forever because it is such a fun thing to do every single year. Next goal was to get back into editing photos for Bookstagram, and I did edit some really fun photos for Bookstagram. I did this photo, I did this photo, I did this photo, and you can see all of the other photos I have on my Instagram if you click the link in my description box, which will take you to my Bookstagram page. But I do have to say I didn't edit quite as many as I wanted to because I was really struggling with Instagram as a platform last year. It went from being my favourite platform to no longer being my favourite platform. I will not be abandoning it, I will definitely not be doing that, but I will be changing my approach to it, and I think that means fewer edited photos, which is a shame, but I'm glad that I achieved this goal at least last year. My next goal was to graduate and finish university, which I definitely did. I graduated, I got a first in my dissertation, I took fake graduation photos because there was no graduation for me. I just took a cap and gown and rolled up a piece of paper and tied a ribbon around it. So got my graduation photos in, but yes. Very happy to have graduated, and the next thing that was on my list of things to do was to choose my career path, because I was doubting for a bit and I didn't quite know what I wanted to do next. But I'm proud to say that I also did this goal. I've got a job in publishing and I'm really enjoying it, and it's definitely the career path I'm happy to be on at the moment, so I think I made the right choice there. All of my workout and yoga goals, and I did some of them, but I have to say my approach to yoga drastically changed throughout the year. My approach to yoga is just so different, and I'll talk about it in my 2022 goals list because it's going to affect how I handle those ones. But needless to say, let's look at the ones that I set last year. One of my goals was to work out with resistance bands more, and I absolutely did that. I've done some very fun resistance band workouts. I especially like doing them with Chloe Ting and MadFit. Those are the two channels that use them that I really enjoy their workout. Then my next goal was to do yoga drills with ankle weights, and I also really did this. I specifically was focusing on my headstand with ankle weights on and training my abs and balance that way, but I also did a few other ones, which was a lot of fun. Such a different way of doing yoga. Then I set some goals for continuing to get stronger because that's something I'm usually working on, and one of them was to do more cardio because I said cardio was something I shy away from. I now do cardio all the time and I absolutely love it. It's definitely one of the more challenging workouts for me, but it's also just so much fun because you just push yourself so much and all of the movements are just so different that I really enjoy cardio now. So that was a good goal. It really worked for me, and that's just integrated into my workout lifestyle. And the other one was to increase my weights because I used 5 kilograms on most things, then 2 kilograms on the ones that were difficult for me. And while I'm still at 5 kilograms for most things, I now can use 5 kilograms on the things that were difficult for me before. So that is definitely a win. I wanted my splits pose to become easier. I could do splits before, but I just wanted it to be more comfortable and to be deeper in it and just to be able to do it in a way that's very comfortable, and I definitely achieved that. My splits pose is definitely more comfortable and I'm more flexible within it, so that was one thing I achieved. I also wanted to do my handstand. Even in my video I mentioned that handstand is a pose that I say I'm going to work on every year and then I don't do it. I didn't do it. I mentioned I wanted to work on my one-legged wheel pose and make my leg straighter. I didn't do it. Wanted to work on my bird of paradise. I didn't do it. I wanted to learn one more arm balance pose, and this one I did do. I've been working on my firefly pose, and that one has been good fun, very challenging. I wanted to work on my king pigeon pose, and I've actually been working on this and actively progressing at it, but I didn't manage to achieve it. It's just something that takes a lot of shoulder flexibility, which is one of my weaker points because of a long-standing injury, so it's going to take a lot of time for me to reach that goal. I wanted to be able to stand and balance on my plexus wheel, which I can do. My balance used to be one of my weaker points, but I can do that one. And I wanted to do a yoga pose that involves a plexus wheel, and I've started working on one, but I haven't achieved the pose, so I guess that's a work in progress. The last one that I wanted to do was a mystery goal, and I said, I didn't explicitly say what it was, but I said it's something that I wanted to gain confidence about and then work on doing, and that was actually to start a Patreon. I really wanted to start one last year, but halfway through the year, as I was getting it all together and working on it, I got my job and I realised that I don't need to start a Patreon because I've got income coming from somewhere else, and it would be nice to keep this just a hobby. I was also a bit inundated with everything changing, moving country, moving within the country to another place, starting a 9-to-5 job, which I never had before, and just moving to London where there are so many things that you can possibly do. So I was very busy and overwhelmed with everything, and I thought starting a Patreon is not feasible, and to be honest, right now it's still not feasible, and I realised I don't really want to start one now. I do think sometimes I get caught up in what are the steps that I should be taking, and in my head one of the steps was you start a YouTube channel, you work on your YouTube channel, and then once you've achieved a certain point, the next step you take is to start a Patreon. But I realised I don't have to do that. I don't have to follow that pattern if I don't think it fits for me. Does that mean I'll never start a Patreon? No. But I don't need to start one now because I don't want to. So those were my goals, and I did 13 out of 21, and I don't think that's too bad. I think I did pretty well. Please let me know in the comment section down below, did you have any goals last year? Did you achieve those goals or not? And do you think 13 out of 21 is a possible score? Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more. And don't forget to hit that notification bell to be updated every time I have a new video. And you know what they say, onwards and upwards. Excelsior!